Hi everybody, welcome to this Pro and Expert Division general playthrough for the WM Phoenix Open 18-hole cup here on the channel. Please give me a thumb up if you don't mind and subscribe as well, totally free to do so. If you are playing expert, check the channel for expert additional tournament content when the event begins. All 18 holes featured here, timestamps in the video description down below. These are general wind conditions here, so you will need to tweak according to the wind angles you get during the tournament and also, of course, to your clubs, balls and play style. These are old replays, so bear in mind the ball attribute levels are the old version. So what was a power 3 ball is now a power 6 and so on. Good luck, here we go. I'm going to show you a bounce over shot. Obviously with tailwind and a berserker you can drive to near green with a decent tailwind. But if not, we're going to play bounce over here, top spin and 3 bars side spin to the left here. Katana or Kingmaker ideal. Can use, of course, Apocalypse or Thor's Hammer if you've got a better driver than the extra mile. Maximum distance, 20% elevation on this one. Does take me into a little bit of overpower, but nothing that is not manageable. So I just go with half a ring and then half a ball of curl to the left. And the idea here is using the left spin and the left curl to take the ball nicely away from the bunker. We bounce very comfortably over the hazards and down the centre of the fairway. And here you're looking for a nice drive around that point. Second shot, we're going to check our club distance. This was from a previous tournament, so I was using a pin check, but it will also equate to true club distance, that is TC on the notepad, plus 10% elevation. From experience, even in different wind angles here, you're going to be around 60 to 70% of your club range, so that is the slider value that I would be using. A little bit of backspin to steady the path of the ball. You might need a bit more backspin in tailwind angles. There is a bit of headwind on this one, but we're playing true club distance, 10% elevation. Good chance for an eagle here if you've got an adjustment dialed in. Bounces very nicely before the green, and then we drop it for an eagle. The rough bump is the best chance for hole in one on hole number 2, but in headwind you will have to play a bounce up shot from the fairway instead. But this wind angle lends itself very nicely for the rough bump. Kingmaker in expert division, but in pro you can actually drop down to a katana, and I'm looking to have the bullseye in that first cut of rough there. Then adding spin, we need a side spin 3 ball here, a little bit of top spin and around 2.5 bars side spin to the left, ball guide to the hole. In this wind angle, 1-on-1 works nicely, so for 5.5 wind, I'm going 5.5 rings. In other wind angles, you might need a slightly different adjustment though. Important to dial in once you know what the tournament wind conditions will be. Perfect ball is of course going to be fine, and we catch the rough nicely. Great left can be trouble with this setup, so if you're not feeling comfortable, then go for the bounce up instead. But I'm going to play with the rock for the ball guide and the accuracy. 4.2 top spin, 1 bar side spin to the left with a Titan. Obviously in headwind, then you would need to go with a driver with more distance. You can always set up with the quarterback and then do a club switch as well. Top spin is the key here though. 6 bars of top spin is great if you have the ability to go with that. Adjust max plus 20. Ball guide is aiming right down the middle of the fairway. And then I'm pushing back up to max here with the rock to make sure I've got some extra distance on my drive. Obviously in straight tailwind you can go aggressive down the left hand side with the berserker. Try and get yourself into a long iron or short iron shot if you've got a good amount of tailwind. But if not, this shot is going to work out absolutely fine. Drive distance you want around 380 yards. Second shot, you've got a choice of bouncing over from where my target was just a few seconds ago with backspin, or you go with the rough bump. The rough bump is, of course, the best look at the albatross. Set up with the ball guide in the middle of the pin there. No spin, ball guide through the hole. In the end, I just shunt the position up to have the inner ring touching the rough rather than in the middle of the rough. Because we're going to drop down into the sand on this one, and it will cost us a bit of distance. The adjustment I list here on the notepad is different to the video. It's based off the miss here that I'm going to show you, but generally I'd play true club distance, 0 elevation for this one. If you're bouncing over, because you'll have obviously a second bounce to deal with, I will play 10 or 15% if you're playing the bounce over shot. But like I said, rough bump is the best way of attacking the pin. Speed is good, just need a tweak to the adjustment on that one. I'm going to suggest you go with a driver with 6 bars of topspin because we do need distance. So 6 topspin, 3 bars side spin to the right. Then we are going to adjust max numbers, 10% elevation. We only pull into 1 ring of overpower, maybe 2 depending on wind angle, but regardless of that, go with max OP. A little bit of curl to the right because we want to bring ourselves in a little bit close to the green if possible. And then of course we want to try and hit perfect. Great left and great right should both be fine. We do have plenty of fairway to aim at. Looking somewhere in excess of 381 yards. Second shot, going to play with the Guardian, and that's because I find the sniper very, very glitchy before the green. So max backspin, 1 bar side spin to the left. Then we are going to aim right of pin as shown. Make sure also that we do have second bounce above the pin. And we want to use the backspin to grab and then pull the ball back down towards the hole. Here I'm going just under max plus 10. On this occasion we pull into a little bit of overpower. If you get a longer roll out on your drive, then you won't need any overpower at all. So make sure if you do go into overpower, make sure you add enough on to cover what you were just into. Perfect ball away, and this one is going to have a very nice chance of dropping, and we drop it beautifully for an eagle on hole number 1. And this one is as near to a money shot as I think you're ever going to get. Quarterback here, 3.5 top spin, 0.2 side spin to the right. I think a quarterback 8 is going to be fine here. You do have sufficient top spin there, so if you don't have quarterback 10, don't worry. Set up there with a ball guide to the hole. Find the middle of the funnel. It's a huge funnel to aim at, so this is an absolute beauty of a shot. And we're up the min line with power 1 ball, so we have to use a navigator here. Then we adjust minimum distance, 10% elevation. I am 3 out of 3 on this shot already. 1 of those was with a great left. 2 of them, of course, with perfect, which we do need to try and hit. But I think this funnel is so good that a minor great ball still has a very, very good chance of dropping. Catches the slope with the top spin and then falls down beautifully for an absolute money hole in 1. Okay, here I'm going to use the Apocalypse because we do have some headwind angle. Bear in mind though, you don't need to have an APOC 4, you can do this with a lower level as well. 4.5 top spin, 3 bars side spin to the left. Focus on the second bounce with spins added in case you're using a different club level, because you'll have different ring sizes and different plus yardages displayed. Don't need a power 5 ball here in my opinion. Kingmaker is going to be absolutely fine. Max plus 10, then we're going to go with full curl to the left, and of course perfect ball, which we hit, and then we are going to bounce very nicely, not threatening the rough at all on either section of the fairway, and we're getting a good roll out here. We want to be between 355 and 360 yards. Second shot, choose either the big dog or the Cataclysm, whatever gives you most distance combined with topspin. Topspin is very important here, it will carry us nearer to the green. Adding spin, max topspin, 3 left spin, giving myself some room from the rough. Then my adjustment here is going to be maximum distance, 10% elevation. Once we've done that, time to take our shot. I do give myself a 1 ring push up here because when I was looking at my position, did think I had a bit more room from the rough, so just to gain a few more yards I do push up 1 ring, but judge for yourself, depends where you are and what club you're using as well. Max curl to the left, perfect ball, top spin going to take us very nicely to the green. From here this will leave an Endbringer school wedge, no spin, 20% elevation. There is a blast shot available to the green, but not in this wind angle. We have headwind here off the tee, so we're going to go with a Kingmaker and either the Extra Mile or the Apocalypse, playing with 3 bars of side spin to the left and 5.8 bars top spin. Setting up here with a little bit of room before max distance, but ball guide aiming down the fairway. Like I said, a wind ball here in direct headwind is advisable, which is why I've gone for a Kingmaker here. Adjust max plus 10, it takes me into overpower by 3 rings, so I'm going to add that on, of course. If you want to avoid overpower, go with a power 5 wind 2 plus ball if you have one. Half a ball of curl to the left and hit perfect. And the top spin and the overpower will take us comfortably over the rough and along the fairway here, just skimming past the rough on the left And we get a nice roll to a drive distance here of around 350 yards. Second shot, playing with the Hornet. You can play with the runner if you don't have the Hornet in a high enough level. And once again, this was taken from a tournament, but it will equate also to true club distance. That will be my general advice for random wind directions. Using the Hornet or the runner for the top spin, because we need to go with between 4.5 and 5.5 bars top spin, depending on the wind angle. Find your position in the rough, add the spin, and with any form of headwind, make sure that ball guide is going slightly through the hole. Top of the red ring, just before the edge of the rough here, true club distance plus 10. If you need more information about using the slider or finding your club distance, check out the Academy tutorial playlist on the channel homepage. Perfect ball here, and you'll see the top spin will take us very nicely out of the rough, and we drop it beautifully for an eagle. On to the next par 3. I'm going to play with a power 3 ball and the sniper here. If you have a low-level sniper, you would need to set this one up with a high-powered ball and play with a high-power ball, or you try and go with a lower power ball with the quarterback. A few options on this one, and it varies on the wind angle as well. Adding spin, ball guide just through the hole, because we're going to adjust into the bunker here. Max plus 15. I do an intentional 12.01 pull angle on this one. This was a previously dialed in shot from an old tournament. Takes me into a little bit of overpower. The wind angle can vary, of course, slightly. So I'm going to add that on, just touching the bottom teeth there. Perfect ball away, and we'll see how this one goes. You're either going to be using the sniper or the quarterback. Like I said, depending on the wind angle, make sure you have the right power ball on so you're not in between clubs. But we drop it nicely there for a hole in one. Very nice wind angle. Still going to play with the Wiseacre though, because then I can use the sniper for the second shot. We're going with 6 top spin and 2 bars side spin to the right, stretching out and finding my position with the second bounce over the rough and the ball guide pointing at the dark bushes up ahead. Max plus 10 is the adjustment here. Max plus 10, power 5 settings, of course, because we're using a power 5 ball. Then once I've adjusted my rings, we're going to take our shot directly. Don't need to push up, because I want to have a slow max overpower needle without a wall curl to the right. So easy to hit perfect here, which we do. And you'll see the ball will bounce on the fairway very nicely indeed. The top spin will take us over the rough and the hazards there and along the fairway over the other side. Drive distance here going to be a nice long drive of 421 yards. Good thing about power 5 ball, we can use the sniper. So I'm playing with just over 2 bars backspin, a little bit of side spin to the right, and you'll see a nice little point here where the ball guide doesn't move around too much, and that's where I'm aiming to land. So it's a nice little sticky spot rather than a funnel. So get a nice consistent landing position here, and we're going to play true club distance, 10% elevation. For every plus yard away from max, we reduce 2.5% on the slider. As a guide, if you don't want to use the slider though, estimate club distance yourself by finding the min and max line. Perfect ball away, and this one very nicely drops for an albatross on hole number 6. Well then, quite a tricky par 3. If you have tailwind, I would suggest bouncing over with the Grizzly, but in this wind angle, pretty much level crosswind, we can go with a sniper 10, max backspin and 3 bars side spin to the left. Kingmaker is better in expert, but of course in pro, then a katana is fine. Adding spin, ball guide pointing at the hole, and we can use plus yardage here as a reference, as well as the rings to ensure that we're starting in the correct place. So we're adding our spin, aiming at the pin with the ball guideline. Guardian can be used here if you don't have a sniper level 10. You can always find your position and then do a club switch. The adjustment here is actually max plus 50. Max plus 50 power to numbers. And even with the long iron shot before the bunker, that tends to play at quite a high elevation as well. As you can see, we've got quite a lot of ground to cover, and it is downhill as well. But we hit perfect, and the backspin grabs very nicely, and we drop it for a hole in one. Now we're going to look at 2 options here on hole number 5. If we get any amount of tailwind, we can play a double Guardian approach with a Berserker. So we are going to use the Guardian as the tee shot as well as the second. Power 5 ball is needed here, and I would suggest you go with less wind resistance rather than more, purely because of the second shot. Setting up at max distance with the Guardian and a Power 5 ball, between 1 and 2 bar backspin and a little bit of side spin to the right. Then we adjust here, maximum distance, 10% elevation. Max distance plus 10. The reason we're using the Guardian is because if we go with the quarterback or the rock, you won't have room to adjust back even if you are starting a few rings up from min. We want to make sure we've got room to adjust in tailwind. So using a wood club off the tee is absolutely fine, and we want to approach the end of the fairway around 260 yards. Now the second shot is quite strange, as we have to imagine our landing position. I'm going to go with max backspin and 1 bar side spin to the left, and I stretch out to judge how many rings short of the landing spot that I am, which in this case is going to be max. So I let my target rest, then I'm going to adjust max plus 10, which is what I'm going to do now, 7.4 rings. Then I push up to max. Then I visualize another 7.4 rings, which is the wind push from my adjustment and how much I need. So I stretch out a little bit and then visualize the landing point with that 7.4 ring adjustment on top. I estimate I need between 3 and 4 rings of overpower, so that's what I apply, and a little bit of curl to the left to counter the wind push. Minor great left, minor great right is going to be fine. We just want to bounce on the fairway and the backspin will grab, steadying the ball on the green for an eagle putt. Okay, difficult wind angle on this difficult hole anyway, to be honest. Minimum distance line with the rock. Go with 1 bar of topspin, 3 bars side spin to the right. Then we are going to adjust minimum distance numbers, 15% elevation. So min plus 15 on this one, and we're going to lay up. And we will need a distance wood club, so make sure you've got your Cataclysm or your big dog at the ready. A little bit of curl to the right, as you can see there in the video, and perfect ball away. Once again, we're looking for 255 to 260 yards. Kingmaker to cut down the wind here. We also need the 3 bars of side spin. Second shot, distance wood club. Going to go with just over 5 bars of topspin, 3 bars side spin to the left, and again, focus on the position of the second bounce. We want to hit the rough and roll out. And then we are going to adjust here true club distance plus 10 is what we're going to do. So it's going to be pretty much max distance, maybe max minus 0.1, minus 0.2 if you don't want to bother with working out plus yards and slider. Full curl to the left. Perfect ball, very important. Obviously, heavy great left might risk the bunker. Clips the rough and rolls out. That will leave you an end bringer school wedge, 20% for the eagle. I'm going to play with the extra mile, 4.5 top spin, 2 bars side spin to the right. I have extra mile 9 here, but extra mile 7, extra mile 6, even going to be fine on this one. Adjustment we are going with here is maximum distance, 20% elevation. So max plus 20. I would advise putting a bit of overpower on this one, just half a ring, and if you do adjust into any, then add that on as well. The reason being, we want to be in range for the Goliath. We don't want to be in between clubs. So I would rather go with a little bit more than not enough in this scenario. Obviously, if you do have a lower level extra mile, you will need to go with more overpower than that. The other option is you go with 5 or 5.5 topspin. So the choice is yours on that one. But max plus 20, going to find the middle of the fairway very, very nicely. We need 370 really. 368, you're probably going to be just at max distance here. So 370 is not bad at all. Then second shot, we want around 4.5 top spin, 2 right spin. Ball guide here I am setting up to be just through the hole. Bear in mind, if you have different level Goliath, you will have different amount of ball guide and also different ring size, so do have that in mind. Here I am playing true club distance plus 10%, so this is pretty much max distance. If you're a couple of yards away from max, then I would reduce your adjustment by 0.1. And then we are going to hit perfect here, obviously. That is what we want to do. And this one will come in nicely, but we do need to tweak our position slightly or our adjustment. Good speed, but we are just going to miss this one to the side. Think it's going to be good, but then just misses a little bit to the right. So a little adjustment there, but I do think we've got a very good chance of dropping that for an eagle. We've got a beautiful hole-in-one to show you here. It is with a Kingmaker. We do really need Kingmaker, especially if you're playing with lower level sniper here. You can drop down to a Katana if you've got Sniper 10, but it is going to give you more wind to deal with. All we need here is 3 bars of side spin to the left. And the reference here is the red ring touching the bunker. Max plus 20 is the adjustment on this one, and as you can see, even with the wind pushing us from right to left, I am still going to play with some curl on this one. So it's going to be edge of the ball touching the outer wall of the adjustment ring to the left. Perfect ball away, and this does have a very good chance of dropping. Nice wind angle to play this hole in, really, so very good chance here. Perfect ball, and we go right at pin for a beautiful hole-in-one. If we haven't got tailwind and therefore the ability to play aggressively over on the right above, or rather over all of the rough and the bushes, then we're going to have to lay up. 4.5 top spin, 2 bars side spin to the right. Red ring is my reference here with the extra mile, but obviously different drivers and club levels will have different ring placements. Either way though, I want to set up using the top spin without having to adjust into overpower. Max plus 10 on this one, outer wall curl to the right, just to get myself a few yards closer to the green, because playing this route we're going to have to adjust accurately, of course, but also approach the pin from distance, which is going to be a tough eagle to drop, but there is still a chance. Drive distance 336. Here we're going to play, of course, with the sniper alongside the bunker. So going to find a good landing spot here, then adding a little bit of a backspin and side spin to the left. The spin will vary depending where you are on your drive, but as a reference with the sniper here, I like to have the blue ring touching the edge of the bunker, just a couple of rings beyond where it starts, kind of level horizontally. Ball guide is pointing at the pin, leaving it slightly short though because we've got tailwind. The adjustment here, I would play true club distance, 0 elevation. This is a relatively flat shot. You might want to go to 5% if you've got more crosswind than me or stronger wind strength to deal with. This is a tough one to drop though, so I would recommend in tailwind, if you can go aggressive, go with that, because an eagle on this hole will be a nice bonus. Almost getting it in there, just missing on the left hand side. If you don't feel confident with that, then play a bounce over shot instead, or just play a containing shot with a load of backspin. Going with the quarterback here, bouncing comfortably in the centre of the rough, playing with a low power ball here, navigator, don't want to be in between clubs, and then we're going to go with backspin, just over 3 bars, and it is just before half a bar of side spin to the right. Setting up there with spin added, ball guide going to the hole. In the video here I play min plus 5. That is unfortunately over adjusted, so my recommendation based on this miss in this particular wind angle, of course, would be min plus 0, just to take a couple of decimals off the adjustment. Perfect ball away. You'll see the speed is good here, but as it's over adjusted we just miss it on the left. But the rough bump is the best chance once again on this par 3. I had a look at it with the Berserker, but there wasn't quite enough tailwind to go aggressively over the rocks on the left, so we're just going to have to go along the right-hand side instead. But obviously, if you've got more predominant tailwind angle, go full blast with top spin and left spin over to the left-hand side. But here we're going with top spin and right spin, aim down the middle of the fairway, setting up there. Going to push the rings, because otherwise the trees and the bushes will be in your way. Max plus 10 on this one, and we want to get a fair distance down the fairway just to make the second shot a little bit easier. No curl needed, just a straight up shot. Perfect ball away. You will see it bounces very nicely before the rough and the bunker, and the top spin takes us down the fairway, finding the centre of the fairway, and we've got a drive distance here of 382 yards. From this side, you're going to have to play with a wood club with distance. So it's going to be Big Dog or Cataclysm. In headwind angle, I would bounce over the rough and the sand with topspin and just play to the green safely that way. But if you can reach over here directly nearer the green, then play with backspin and right spin as I do here. Obviously, we're grappling with a low-level bull guide here with this club, but really when you're playing on the right side, it's a very difficult route to secure the albatross. The albatross is, of course, much more attainable playing aggressively on the left, but it's going to be wind angle dependent. From the right-hand side here, maximum distance, 0 elevation. This one is a fairly flat shot. So max plus 0. If you were playing into any headwind here, I would go 10% on that one just to make sure you're countering any extra wind push. Perfect ball away, and like I said, we're safely onto the green here, and we've got a nice putt for the eagle. Then I'm going to play down the left-hand side here. Need a driver with 6 bars of topspin, really, to get some good distance to be able to play the approach shot, and I'm going to show you. So 6 topspin, 3 right spin, using a kingmaker, because we do need that side spin. Want to cut the wind down as well. Max plus 15 here, max plus 15. And I'm not bothering about how many rings I'm adjusting to overpower. I'm just going to go full blast, full overpower down the fairway here with a little bit of curl to the right. Perfect ball away. Obviously, we do want to try and hit perfect here. And this one will bounce very nicely. We want to be around 370 yards. 370 yards here. So 373, absolutely fine. Second shot, add your spin. Half a bar of backspin, 3 right spin, and find the position where you get consistent ball guide. You move your target around, it will make the ball guide move around as well, but just try and find that position there with that spin added. The ball guide will be stopping a little bit short of the pin. Then here, I am playing this one in between mid and max distance, 5% elevation. In between mid and max, 5% elevation. Obviously, if you have a lower level sniper, you may need to stretch out and push back up. Very useful to have sniper 9 or 10 here, but like I said, if you are a bit shorter on your drive and you got sniper 7 or 8, you do still have a chance. We sneak this one in on the left edge, but it drops beautifully eventually for an eagle. I'm going to use the Apocalypse here because we do have headwind angle. I've got the APOC 4, but as before, can use a lower level Apocalypse. Still going to be absolutely fine. Here, I'm using just under 6 bars of topspin and 3 bars side spin to the left. Look at the second bounce when you've got your spin added. If you've got a different level APOC, then the ring sizes will be different and the plus yardage will be different. So that is one way to check you are setting up in the equivalent position to me. Max curl to the left, max plus 10 is the adjustment here, and we do want to hit perfect. And the curl and the top spin will take us very nice over to the next piece of fairway and straight down the middle to set up. Another brilliant attempt for an albatross using a rough bump. Here, I'm going to play with the Goliath once again. I do not want to be in between clubs. Checking my club distance here. And then we're going to add top spin, 3 bars, and then 3 bars of right spin. And here I am playing true distance of club. So find out where max is, find out where minimum distance is. And then you want to be playing true club distance, 5% elevation. Very good chance here, aim at the pin. And then we're going to adjust and take our shot. Very, very decent chance of a drop. This rough bump for me has been working very, very consistently indeed. So this is a great way to finish your opening round. Make our adjustment and then we are going to go with perfect ball. And you'll see this bounces very nicely. And we drop this one, very beautiful speed as well for an albatross. Thanks very much for watching this video here on the channel. If it has helped you in any way, please consider sharing it amongst your friends and clanmates in the game. Join us also on Facebook. Head over there, search for BK Golf Clash and join our free group. Loads of members there sharing shots, Free guides are posted, as well as loads of other great Golf Clash resources. So check us out there. You can join in the discussion and also leave feedback on the game in general. Finally, if you wish to help support the channel and keep the content free for everybody, please consider becoming a Patreon member. The link is in the video description down below. Good luck, see you soon, bye for now.